Hello there, the Snowman here, and the final women's tennis event of the year is upon us. It's the BNP Paribas WTA Year-End Finals in Singapore. If you don't know about the format, you take the top 8 players from the WTA this season, and unfortunately the number 1 player, Simona Halep, will not be there. She's still rehabbing a back injury. She's going to take November off, and good for her. She needs to rest and recuperate. She plays about as grueling a schedule as anyone. So no number 1 Simona Halep, but we will have the 2 through 9 ranked players led by Caroline Wozniacki and a lot of others. So it's the final women's tennis event of the year. It's happening next week in Singapore. And if you don't know, it's a World Cup style format, kind of like the FIFA World Cup. The 8 players are split into 2 groups of 4. Each of the 8 players are guaranteed 3 matches in the round robin stage, and then the top 2 from each of the groups advance to the semifinals and then the finals. So let's dig into it. Let's check out these 2 groups in Singapore. First up, we have Red Group, and this group has no returners from the 2017 WTA Finals. We've got 3 new debutantes to the competition. You've got the top seed and the current Wimbledon title holder, Angelique Kerber, the US Open champion, Naomi Osaka, the 2017 Open champ, Sloane Stephens, and then the injury replacement, Kiki Bertens. So, this is a very tough tournament to predict. It's the best female players all in one tournament. There's no easy matches, but let's see what we got. Naomi Osaka, the odds maker's favorite to win the WTA Finals. She is 7-2 odds to win the tournament, and that makes a lot of sense. She's won 2 of the biggest tournaments this year in the US Open and Indian Wells. She's in great form, has won 14 of her last 16 matches, including making a final in her home country, Japan, in Tokyo, and then a semifinals appearance in Beijing. Osaka, we all know how good she is, the potential, the easy power. She's this first player in the red group. Then you have the German Kerber, and she had a quieter Asian swing than Osaka, but she's still in good form. She did, however, part ways with her coach, Wim Fissette, after just 1 year of collaboration. Fissette helped Kerber get back to the top 5 this season and claim her 3rd Grand Slam title this year at the Wimbledon Championships, so she will start 2019 with a new head coach. Personally, I like how things are shaping up for the American Sloane Stephens. She's just 7th out of the 8 players in terms of betting favorites, but she has the best record against opponents in Red Group. Has a great mark of 4-1 versus the aforementioned Kerber, and I feel like she has enough defense, enough patience to hang with Kerber on those long rallies where Kerber likes to draw out an error from her opponent. Stephens will have none of that, and she can out-firepower her, out-hit her on the offensive end. She's also 1-0 against both Osaka and Kiki Bertens. Just 2-3 in the Asian swing for Sloane Stephens, but when she's on, her ceiling is higher than just about anyone else's on the tour, maybe right there with Naomi Osaka. And I can't wait for match day 2 of this event in Singapore when Stephens matches up with Naomi Osaka. Finally, in Red Group, we get the Dutch woman Kiki Do You Love Me Bertens. And Bertens, the 2018 Cincinnati champion, also won titles in Charleston and Seoul this season, along with a final appearance in Madrid. She has a great forehand, a surplus of topspin that she puts on that, an excellent clay court player. If you don't know much about Kiki Bertens' game, she's probably the most unknown of these 8 ladies who will be playing in Singapore, but just 1-4 overall versus Red Group. However, she's got 10 top 10 wins this season, which is the best mark of these 8 players competing at the WTA Finals. So Bertens, although she's lower on the spectrum, she's the worst betting favorite, she's still very dangerous. White group, you have the more experienced group. There's 3 returners from this event from 2017. You got the 2018 Aussie Open champion, Caroline Wozniacki, 5-time 2018 titleist Petra Kvitova, one of my favorite players, Elina Svitolina, and the big serving Czech Karolina Pliskova. So the odds makers, they're favoring Wozniacki and Kvitova in this group. Let's start with the Dane, Wozniacki, who is the defending champion of this competition last year when she took out Venus Williams in the final. She really hasn't been as consistent as she usually is this year. She's still won big trophies like Wimbledon, like Beijing, also won in Eastbourne. But I think at the end of the year, when other players are fatigued and sluggish, Wozniacki is not. She's going to be as fit as ever. We know of her conditioning skills, so I think she's right there to win this white group. Kvitova definitely has to like her chances too. The 2011 WTA Year-End Finals champ, the lefty Czech, a jaw-dropping 18-6 against other members of white group in her career, including a 7-1 tally versus Svitolina, including the last 7 in that rivalry. She's 3-0 against her compatriot Pliskova. I have to believe she has a fantastic chance to come out of this group. Kvitova and Wozniacki will definitely be favored over the other two in white group. Speaking of the Ukrainian, I'm a big fan of the 24-year-old Svitolina. She's actually shed a lot of weight from last year, which I think has taken a few people by surprise. Last season, of course, such a prolific year for her. She won 5 titles in 2017, which led the WTA in that category. I think that's honestly kind of hurt her game a little bit. She doesn't have as much power quite like last year. And I thought last season and the years before, she played a lot like Sloane Stephens. Not really a counterpuncher or an attacker, but a little bit of both, able to adapt to her opponents. She, the offense and the defense working together in tandem. Now I'm not sure. It's really all about defense for Svitolina. This year she has been a 100% counterpuncher. She's very fit though, just like Caroline Wozniacki. I think her best shot in this tournament, she's going to try to run around and tire out those powerful Czechs. All right, the final player in white group, one of the best servers in the world, Karolina Pliskova, who won Tokyo just about a month ago over the heavy home favorite Naomi Osaka. She also made a final in Tianjin, so a good Asian swing for Pliskova. And if you look carefully at her results, she has quietly had another fantastic season. She's actually been one of the most consistent players on the tour since she broke through in 2016, grabbed the #1 ranking, and made that US Open final back in 16. My big question, though, for this tournament for Karolina Pliskova, can she move well enough to compete with the other players in white group? So again, everybody plays each other once in the group stage. The top 4, 2 from each group, will advance to the semifinals. This is such a tough season to predict. I mean, most WTA events throughout the year are tough to predict, but especially this one because it is the cream of the crop, the absolute best players in the world. Personally, though, I'm just going to make a quick prediction. I will take Sloane Stephens over Caroline Wozniacki in my final. Give me Sloane for the win. I just think she hasn't won anything since Miami. She's kind of due. And Sloane is a player who she gets up for the big moments. She's not afraid of the moment. And Sloane Stephens, certainly one of the most athletic players on the tour, one of the most balanced in terms of her skill set. And I'm going to go with Sloane Stephens to win these year-end event finals in Singapore. Please let me know who you've got winning. Leave a comment. I'd love to chat about anything relating to women's tennis. But if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the Snowman Sports Media. And other than that, God bless and happy tennis.